want to ask the Tallaght about the Consultative Forum in relation to neutrality. I watched the engagement with Mick Barry earlier, where the Tallaght was very worked up, I'd say, at Mick Barry's pointing out the reality that the list of invited speakers gives the game away to an extreme degree. You have one anti-war speaker in the form of Roger Cole and multiple people who are on record as being in favour of joining NATO, have links to NATO themselves and so on. Does this not just give the entire game away?
Thank you. Tallaght.
I'm not worked up at all. I just think it's shocking how you guys operate, deputies operate, in terms of sort of, first of all, your intolerance of a wide variety of views, of debate. And I kind of instinctively felt this is how you were going to approach this. This is a genuine debate, huge, wide range of speakers with different perspectives, people working in Irish universities, people working at different fora. The first thing you tried to do was attack the chairperson some weeks ago. Personalisation of this. The old story, let's get the person, let's undermine the person, the integrity of the person, the international reputation of the person, all for our own political agenda. It is a sickening form of politics that you engage in, Deputy Murphy. I find it abhorrent. But a more sinister element behind it is to snuff out debate. You talk about freedom of speech and so on in Tunisia. You're nowhere near that. I'm not suggesting that. But what you are trying to suggest is certain people can't speak because they have a view. That is what you're saying. They should not be allowed to speak. If there's up to 50 or 60 speakers, if one or two have views that are contrary to Deputy Murphy and Deputy Barrett, then they should not speak. That is intolerance. You guys are no great advocates of freedom of speech at all. And I shudder to think of the day when you would ever be in authority. Because by God, would you put a jackboot on people who might have views different to yours. That's where you guys are coming from. It's where I stand.
Can I ask the Taoiseach to withdraw that?
I will not withdraw anything.
Can I ask that to withdraw that? I'm asking you right now because in the past there was an issue about not asking for it immediately. He said that if we were in power we'd put the jackboot on people. Could I ask him to withdraw that comment?
Sorry, okay. Yeah.
Now another issue was arisen because the deputy was asked you to withdraw that comment.
I'm not withdrawing. Like, we're in a parliament. I believe fundamentally in the right of freedom of expression in this parliament. Sorry, I've witnessed the deputies opposite make all sorts of comments about people.
That's okay, we're not going to have a debate.
It's a bit rich, like, for Deputy Murphy to be looking for.
Can we through the chair?
It's getting somewhat squeamish now, I would say.
Can we do this through the chair, please?
This
is a question and answer basis. I've actually got distracted as to where we are in terms of time. The Deputy Murphy has a right to reply in relation to the question now.
Yeah, I do want to ask the chair. Ask the chair to that he's in breach of standing orders, saying that we would put a jackboot on people if we were in power and ask him to withdraw.
I'm entitled to an opinion.
You're in breach of standing orders.
Sorry, through the chair. You've just made.
Go and say it outside the Dáil, like your disgraceful allegation that we're Putin's puppet. Say it outside the Dáil. Don't be abusing privilege.
You've just made an assertion that certain people shouldn't be on a platform.
No, actually we didn't. Stop lying about what we said.
Thank you. Just please resume.
So I tell you what's abhorrent.
No, Deputy, resume your seat.
Sure, sorry, I was going to.
Resume your seat. Now, this is not helpful, particularly given the context that you're saying the debate should be free and flow. This is not helpful. Now, I'm going to resume this. The Deputy has asked the Taoiseach to withdraw a comment. He said he won't do that. I'm asking you now, Deputy, to resume in relation to the question, because we're almost out of time.
What is abhorrent is not our exposure of the reality that the government has a hand-picked consultative forum with a hand-picked chair who is on record as being a supporter of US militarism. That's not abhorrent, us being critical of that. What is abhorrent, and what is contrary to democratic debate and free speech, is that the government is not doing any of this in the full glare of the public and allowing the public to decide. You were originally going to have a citizens' assembly. You ditched the citizens' assembly. Why? Because you're afraid of the views of the citizens. We had a bill in this parliament which you voted down to say that the people should have the right to decide. We should put neutrality in the constitution. We want to have a real debate about these things. However, what we're exposing, and what you don't like being exposed at all, is that these consultative forums are an absolute farce. They're part of a managed process designed to say that the great and the good have come together and have decided that Ireland is now too mature to stick with these old notions of neutrality and we're going to ditch it. That's why you have the thing completely stacked. I have no problem with people like Bridget Laffan or John O'Brien or whatever with explicit anti-neutrality, pro-NATO views speaking. No problem. But I do have a problem that you have one speaker in favour of neutrality over the course of 4 days. The thing is clearly rigged, and you have a problem with that being pointed out.
Deputy Murphy, there's one chair. Thank you. Now, Tánaiste, if you could, we're over time, so we're just going to complete.
Yeah, I just want to say that Ireland's policy of military neutrality has long been a very important strand of our foreign policy. It's been practised by successive governments, of which I've been a member. And the policy means that Ireland does not participate in military alliances or common or mutual defence arrangements. The government has no plans to alter this policy. That's not part of this conference. You have attempted to make the view that it is. You've tried to damage and undermine the bona fides of the conference. It is a first major national conversation on international security issues, foreign policies, defence. Why are you so afraid of it? And it is public, and the public can participate both online and can make submissions and can attend. It's very transparent, openly transparent, and the Oireachtas Committee have been invited to attend. All members of the Oireachtas Committee on Foreign Policy and Defence. Every member of the Oireachtas can attend, but there's been particular facilitation for the members of the Oireachtas Committee. Sorry.
As Chair, I'm going to have to ask you to reflect on the use of putting the jackboot in. It's unparliamentary language. I don't think it's acceptable.
Well,
so
I'd like to test statica here. Sorry, I don't think it's unparliamentary language.
I'm making a ruling now, Tánaiste, in relation to this matter, and I have given great discretion in relation to robust debates. But I would ask you to reflect. Accusing members of putting the jackboot in, it's just not. I'd ask you to withdraw it. That's all I'd ask you to do on reflection. I think
First of all, I didn't say they were putting the jackboot in, but I said it in the future, given their trend and their
won't
approach.
add to it. We won't add to it.
In the instance of civility, I'll take back the word jackboot.
Thank you.
But again,
we're not having a debate.
But I don't want to debate on it. I want to refer to. I want this issue now, freedom of speech in Parliament.
We're not going on to that. Sorry, Tánaiste.
No, because I don't like what's happening here. Chair, I have to put it to you directly. I don't like it.
Tánaiste, stop, please.
I'm just doing it.
We're having the words withdrawn. Thank you.
I think
so
we need.
Now that, thank you for your cooperation.